Master. Thank you, Lilling, for that very wonderful table topic session. It brings back a lot of child memories for me as well. Now, it's imperative when I ask everyone for their fondest child memories, it's imperative that I share mine as well. My grandma, a lot of grandma stories today, yeah? My grandma lives in a village, a kampong area. Now, every time I visit her, I was very young, every time I wanted to pee, she asked me to go pee under the papaya tree. The fruits that came out of the papaya, she'll maybe eat it. I tell you, it's very, very sweet. So the next time you want to eat sweet fruits, pee under the tree. That's my fondest memory. Now moving on, we are done with the table topic sessions. Let's move on to the speech session. Our first speech is by Lim Chirong. But before I get Chirong to come up here, I would like to invite his speech evaluator to tell us briefly what the project is about. Now let us please invite Advanced Communicator Gold, Advanced Leader Bronze, Ruben Chin, to explain the speech project.
Thank you, Ted.
You guys online here?
Maybe not. Okay, first of all, Ted, I'm never eating papaya at your or your grandmother's house. Now, let's talk about Chirong's speech. Chirong tonight is attempting something called an L2P1 or Level 2 Project 1. It's called Understanding Your Leadership Style. The purpose of this project is for this member to identify his or her, there's no her, his primary leadership style. And tonight, what Chirong will be attempting in form of a speech is to, number one, deliver a well-organized speech about either his own leadership style or somebody else's that he's noticed. Now, because this project is kind of general, I'm going to ask myself 3 questions, and I hope you will too, which is number one, how appropriate is his content in relation to the project? Number 2, what kind of structure is he using tonight, and was that appropriate? And then finally, what's his style of delivery? Was it humorous? Was it informative? What was it? So let's try and figure this out together. So, Chirong, good luck to you, and maybe you want to hold the mic too.
Thank you, Ruben. When I asked Ruben what is his fondest child memories, he said he used to hang out with the grandma, another grandma. My grandma. His grandma, yes. And if he did not get into too much trouble, he would get a giant fish ball as a reward. Chirong, did you bring fish balls? You have to repeat the project. Now, on to Chirong's project. Chirong will be doing his dynamic leadership project. It's an L2P1 project, Understanding Your Leadership Style. His title is My Leadership Style. And he will be sharing, because of his career, he gets to lead. How does he lead? Let's listen in to Chirong. Chirong, my leadership style, my leadership style, Chirong.
Leadership, by definition, is the art of motivating a group of people toward achieving a common goal. In my opinion, leadership can come in many different forms, and different people will have their very different definition and elucidation of what a leader is. I believe the best way to predict what kind of leader a person would be is to examine the kind of leaders a person look up to. Now, there are many leaders that I look up to in my life, but there has not been one who has influenced me as much as this one leader athlete. This leader athlete was a world-renowned, world's most recognized basketball player, the late Kobe Bryant. So let me share with you the 3 traits of Kobe Bryant that I deeply admire and which I believe gave him the characteristics and persona for him to be the leader in his field of profession. Number 1, his passion and dedication to the game of basketball. Sure, there are many professional athletes who are dedicated and passionate as well, but not many can claim the milestones and accomplishments like Kobe Bryant did. Whether it be his skills on the court or his charismatic persona off the court, Kobe inspired millions and millions of youth all around the world to fiercely chase after their goals. He was the reason why I started playing basketball in my high school days. Secondly, Kobe Bryant was a leader who led by example. And more than that, he was one who would walk the talk. Very often in his team, Kobe Bryant would be the first in his team to have the courage to set a vision so grand that many would deem it impossible. But each time, Kobe would again come out and prove to the world that it was possible. That it was possible for him, it was possible for his team. Thirdly, resilience. Now, in the pursuit of his NBA championship goals, Kobe constantly demonstrated unwavering perseverance when faced with challenges and setbacks. Even when he was faced with so much criticism, whether it be from the media or from the other players in the league, he was always wise enough to not let them bother him. Now, a focused and resilient man will always achieve his goals. So these are the traits that I deeply admire about Kobe Bryant. But does that mean that I'll have the same traits when it comes to leadership? Well, I believe to a certain extent, yes, my long-term observation of Kobe Bryant will have somewhat an influence on me when it comes to my own pursuit of my career. I'm in the life insurance business, and I have been a life insurance advisor for the past 8 years of my life. I now run a very dynamic and fast-growing agency with more than 10 agents. Now, as an agency manager, my responsibilities revolve around 3 things: recruitment, training and development of agents, and production. Now, recruitment of life insurance agents is no easy task because of the stigma that is associated with this profession in this part of the world. It is a constant challenge to me, and I very frequently ask myself, why did I even decide to be an agency manager in the first place? And if you fellow Toastmasters are wondering the same, then let me tell you now. Because I love my job. I just enjoy what I do. And I find it such a meaningful and fulfilling career because of the positive impact that it brings to the people around me. Now, when you truly understand the meaning of life insurance and what it could do to your loved ones, then I believe you will then also understand that selling life insurance is not just another sales job. I see too few people in the industry who understand that. Many agents I've come across, they are always either very stressed and very nervous about numbers. I know that this career can be very enjoyable, and I want to see people enjoy and have fun in doing what I do. Yes, it may take a while, but if you are willing to stick with me long enough, I'm sure that you will find this a very fulfilling career too. Number two. So number two, the recruitment. When it comes to training and recruitment of life insurance agents, there's no other way to do it than to show by example. Now, life insurance is a simple business, but it is not easy. I have to show my agents more than just a couple of times how the business is done before they can first find the courage to make the first appointment, to have the confidence, to show a good presentation, and finally discover the joy of providing quality recommendations to their clients. And this is what I take pride in doing. Lastly, production, or rather, in other words, the profitability of my organization is a responsibility that I have to shoulder. And like I mentioned before, selling insurance may not necessarily be an easy task. And especially with the ever-changing market, we are constantly faced with challenges and setbacks. And it is always in this time, I would need to stand out to be resilient. And it is always in times of challenges and setbacks, I am always the one dependent upon to come up with a solution. And I will always be happy to do that, even if it means I have to bring in all the production myself. Kobe Bryant once said, the most important thing is to try and inspire others so that they can be great in whatever they want to do. To me, I believe leadership is not just a title, it's not just a position. More often than not, a leader is an example, is a reference, is a beacon of light to those who are willing to follow. And with that, I'd like to end my speech. Back to you.
Thank you, Children, for that wonderful speech. I am not a Kobe fan. I'm a Michael Jordan fan.
Hey!
Okay. Now, Michael Jordan. Now, our next speech is from Supatra. But before we get Supatra to come on stage to present her speech, can we please hear from our international president, that distinguished Toastmaster Richard Peck, on what the speech objective is? Richard?
Good day. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Yes!
All right, very good. So the purpose of this speech, which is an icebreaker, is for the member to introduce himself or herself to the club and learn the basic structure of public speaking. Now, since Subhatra is already a CC, I'm sure she's got that down pat, but it'd be interesting to hear her speech, Women in Tech. This is a 4 to 6 minute speech. I wish you all the best.
Thank you, Richard. Now, I couldn't ask Richard what his fondest childhood memories were, but I did a bit of search on Richard. You know that Richard is a bad... I can't say that word. Huh?
Bad boy.
Bad boy, yeah. He does go-karting.
Wow.
How cool is that? I went online and searched for it. He does go-karting. And to support fellow Toastmasters, during one of the installation of district officers, he actually learned Mandarin to try and pronounce Mandarin. How cool is that? How bad is that? Okay, let us all give Richard a big round of applause for being a bad boy. Supatra will be doing her icebreaker. She's embarking on a new pathway, a visionary communicator pathway. And in this icebreaker, Supatra is going to share a bit. This is a synopsis. How do you see yourself in the next 5 years? From a fresh graduate to who she is today, she's gone through many ups and downs. And being a woman of tech, she's going to share a little bit about her journey. Now, can I please invite competent communicator Supatra Lee to the stage to present her speech? Supatra?
How do you see yourself 5 years from now? What do you think you will achieve 5 years from now? Good evening and good day, fellow Toastmasters and welcome guests.
Good evening.
5 years ago, I have just graduated from university. When I went for my first job interview, the interviewer asked me, what do you think you will become in 5 years? At that time, I didn't know. I had just finished school. I didn't know what I wanted to do. But I knew one thing. I wanted to do something with engineering. First reason, because I love technology. The second reason is because I heard the money was good. And third reason was I can officially use the hashtag life of an engineer.
Yes.
At that time, not knowing anything, that was my little goal. In August 2014, I was very fortunate. I was being offered a role in our national telecommunication and internet service provider company called Telgroup, which doesn't exist now. But from that moment onwards, that was my first milestone as a woman in tech. 5 years have passed, and when I think back of my journey venturing through this male-dominating career, there were many ups and downs. My most interesting memory, which I love and hate, was having to go to the office late at night. Because any system change, any maintenance can only be done between 1 a.m. and 4 a.m. That is so that you would be asleep and not experience any service disruption. My parents were very concerned about me. They were very worried about my safety. You're a lady and you're gonna go there at night? Are you not afraid? Of course I was. But I wasn't afraid of my colleagues or anything. I was afraid of things that you only experience at night. I have heard too many stories about weird noises, weird footsteps, and people calling out your name at night. When you turn around, there was no one. It was fun, a little scary and tiring. But because of that story, then I can proudly hashtag life of an engineer. The nature of the job was very demanding, but it also carried so much responsibility. Because if one day, if I went to the office half asleep and happened to push a wrong button, you all would wake up with no internet. No Facebook, no WhatsApp, no Instagram. But at the same time, although it was stressful, it gave me so much fulfillment because what we did is keeping Brunei connected to the world. The only downside of this job was the irregular working hours, and eventually it took a toll on my health. But it was still a love-hate relationship, and I still enjoy my work until today. Today, 5 years has passed since I started that journey. As I look back again of what I have achieved, I realize that I have gone through so many challenges to achieve that goal that I had 5 years ago, to be a female engineer. But despite the hard work, unequal opportunities, discrimination is inevitable. 2 years ago, there was a change in the telecommunication industry in Brunei. And like I said before, Telbru now no longer exists. And that made me think through of what I wanted to do with my career aspiration. Today, I am no longer an engineer. I have decided to close that chapter of my life. But not because I didn't like my job. It was because I believe that I want to make better impact to the world. And in order to do that, I have to take on bigger roles. Instead of being an engineer, I want to be a woman in tech. I want to be a tech leader. One who actually understands technology, but also business. So instead of being the person who fixes your internet, I want to be the person who actually plans for your internet. I want to be the one who get involved in developing your strategy of all the exciting products and services that technology can enable for Brunei. And with that, when the opportunity comes for me to move on and to move into a commercial department, I grabbed it. Although with heavy heart, I actually feel that my role today is a lot more meaningful than what I did before. Because I am now designing the services and products that Brunei will get in the next 5 years. Telbru might have given me a shock. The company just vanished. But there are so many surprises in life. And what we can do is to embrace the change, but also to reflect back and look through what we can do. 5 years ago, as a naive fresh graduate, I had never thought that I would one day work in a commercial department. But life does give you surprises. If you ask me again, what is my career aspiration in the next 5 years? I will give you the same answer. I don't know. But there is one thing for sure. I might not be an engineer now, but I am and will always be a woman in tech. Thank you.
When I had internet interruption back then, was it because you were fighting your husband? Right, ladies and gentlemen, on Zoom, physical meeting, we'll have a 10-minute break. We'll reconvene at 8:40. Enjoy your break.
You're the husband right there.